This is a Tropics Update with the certified most accurate weather team at First Coast.
Hi there, I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta, and this is Talking Tropics. And we have plenty to, of course, talk about today in the tropics. Our soon-to-be named Sara out here. Now, this is Tropical Depression 19 as of recording this. That's our 10 o'clock advisory, but I wouldn't be surprised if as we go ahead through our day here on Thursday, especially into the afternoon, we're going to be seeing this named a tropical storm where it will get that name here. Now, the current situation with it is just off the coast of Central America, just towards southwest of the Cayman Islands. Winds are at 35 miles per hour, and is moving off towards the west at 14 miles per hour. Look at the official track from the National Hurricane Center. They do still anticipate this to get up to those 45 mile per winds over the course of the next 12 hours and really intensifying up to that tropical storm in status. Now, here's the deal, though. If you are worried about this impacting you anywhere along the Gulf Coast, including Florida, I would say continue to monitor it, but kind of side-eye it. Not be terribly concerned. I want to be running out to the grocery store buying the bread and milk at this time. But just want to watch it because it has a lot to go through here. And that's what we'll break down in this update. No hype. No fear bring. We're going to talk about what's really here in the forecast, why we're stormed this late in the season, and what could be the potential impacts. Of course, starting off with the fact that it is moving over Central America. Places like Belize over towards the Peninsula are going to be looking at tropical storm conditions and more so the heavy rainfall, which could create a bit of flooding out here for those areas. Taking a look at the imagery here as of your Thursday morning, you are seeing that circular form. Really, for all intents and purposes, I do believe this is actually a tropical storm at this time. I really want to wait for the National Hurricane Center to kind of get it named and moves off here towards the west, with that landfall likely over towards Belize, tracks across the Yucatan. There's a lot of convection, especially on the northern periphery of it, so definitely going to be looking at some heavy rainfall for our friends in Central America. Use millimeters, probably going to be seeing about 200 to 300 millimeters along the coastal areas. But look towards the north. This is dry air filtering in. It's going to cause this storm system to kind of weaken in the long term. Let's break this down. This is a couple different models we're going to show here. First, the GFS. As we go ahead through Friday, heading into Saturday, it moves across the Yucatan, and you see it doesn't really keep area all terribly organized. Looking ahead into next week, Monday or Tuesday, we have another front that's going to start to move in from the west into Tuesday, and that's going to hook this and basically act on snow plow, just plowing this along off towards the east. And anytime we see that, we get a lot of shear, which is going to disrupt this storm. And this is the reason why the National Hurricane Center even just has this a low pressure area in the Gulf Coast. It's because of this front that's going to come through, as well as some dry air, almost shearing it along, plowing it off towards the east. Now, with that said, it may not be a full-on hurricane hitting the Florida Gulf Coast, but it could be some severe weather. Especially when shear comes into the factor here. You get a lot of moisture, you got tropical air interacting with cooler air, you get this battleground type of setup that could be producing some severe weather, including things like maybe even tornadoes. These are all things that are on the table. Not saying 100% that's what's going to happen, especially 7 days out. Anybody's going to sit here and say it's 100%. They're just trying to be baity or fear-mongering. And here at First Coast News, we are the most accurate team rated by Weather Rate for a specific when we try to get the information here, the facts for you. And it does look like probably Wednesday into Thursday, maybe not a full-on hurricane based on everything we're seeing here today, but probably going to be looking at some messy. And that's something that the spaghetti models, a lot of people like showing these because they have a general idea of where they're going. It just shows the low pressure center. It doesn't show kind of the overall organization of a storm. When you just look at the low pressure center, you're seeing, oh, hold on a second, that's scary. But the reality is that low pressure center is likely going to be sheared and pulled off towards the east. And these are ensembles with the long range, with the Euro versus the GFS. So you have two models here, what I just showed you, but we'll show them side by side. Not really show a lot of these circles on top of each other, which is the pressure. it's not really showing a lot of it. So, like, the confidence of this becoming a full-on hurricane continues to decrease. Like I mentioned, they're still going to have that tropical moisture with it, and we're still going to be increasing that rainfall. But yeah, you can see here just kind of those winds picking up. That's actually an OAC, so sorry about that. But the key thing is the jet stream kind of diving on. We got a lot of graphics to go through here. Just make sure they're all updated. Sea surface, though, this is one thing that I do want to stress. Despite all these things I'm saying negative against the increasing formation of this Gulf of Mexico, what is one reason why here in late November we're still monitoring it is the fact that temperatures are warm. We're still into the low to mid 80s where this is formed. You need about 80 degrees Fahrenheit for cyclonic formation, plus a slew of other factors, but it's still about 80 to 83. That is more than enough fuel for tropical development. These are record-breaking warm sea surface temperatures on top of that. So the fact that we're looking at maybe another tropical here in November is unusual. In fact, we've only had a few major hurricanes in the month of November. We had Raphael earlier this month. So it's not terribly common. And you know what's really interesting? The latest landfalling hurricane record was Hurricane Kate in 1985. That made landfall on November 20th. Now, November 20th, coincidentally, is next Thursday when I am saying that we could be looking at the low pressure center of this storm making landfall Florida Peninsula. So let's say I was wrong. Say this does become a hurricane. Hypothetically, it would be so rare to the fact that it would be record late landfall in the United States. So that is just something to keep in mind, and why, looking to the models, but climatology, it would be super unusual. Only 4 hurricanes have ever made landfall in the United States in the month of course, we had Nicole back in 22, so it's not unheard of, but definitely not common. Yeah, still got to watch this. Still got to overcome the friction. America, the sheer sea surface temperatures still warm in the Gulf. Storm likely to be named Sara. Right now, it is soon to be named Sara. The good news is guidance is pretty good enough. What we're seeing right now, we're pretty. Why is it named Sara, though? I do want to mention this real quick. Sara, she replaced 2012's Hurricane Sandy's name on the naming list. Remember, Sandy caused 124 deaths. $68 billion, that is with a B, dollars, and one of the largest storms from end to end on record. Remember that just impacted coastline along the northeast. Just a memorable storm. About 1 to 2 storms each season get retired. This year, Helene, Milton, Beryl all retired. But yeah, that's why we have Sara versus Sandy. So some interesting facts there. But of course, we're continuing to track this very late seasons. And I want to leave you on one more note. I found this was really interesting. It's not just Atlantic having late season storms out. In fact, if we look to the other side of the world, by the way, this season's still well above average. But I want to look at the other side of the world real quick, because out in the Western Pacific, the first time on week, they had 4 named storms at the same time in the month of November. So I know we were saying, this is the first time we've had one of the first times we've had a Cat 3 in the month of November in recent years. We have a storm that could potentially be a late season record break. Potentially. The point is, we have a lot of activity in the Atlantic. This is reserved to the Atlantic, though other oceans around the world are also still record-breaking sea surface temperatures. Look at this. There's one storm hitting the Philippines again in the matter of days. Imagine if we were talking about Florida and you had a hurricane landfall, and then 2 days later, and just prior to this, they actually had multiple hurricanes. So this would be, I think this one right here is the 5th consecutive in the matter of about 3. They've had one storm after another. Imagine if that was happening in the peninsula. My goodness. It just goes back to the fact that a lot of people, they say climate change isn't real, or the sea surface. Regardless of how you think climate change is happening or not, you cannot say that the sea surface temperatures are not record breaking out there. We're seeing that in real time. And the end result of what we're acting with record breaking sea surface temperatures is not only taking place in the Atlantic, but it's also taking place globally around the world. It is a actual observation we are seeing time based on our forecast here that we actually had earlier, saying that it's going to be an active season and potentially a late season. So there's a lot happening here. Of course, keep you posted at Coast News for the weather at the First Coast News area, southeastern Georgia, northeastern Florida, as well as our Hurricane Central, all sorts of on the tropics and what is happening out here with our soon to be named Sara. So I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta, just talking tropics. Thanks for stopping, and yeah, hope to see you next time.